Fact 1. The Japanese Tale of Urashima Taro. Urashima Taro is a famous Japanese folktale about a fisherman who travels to an underwater kingdom and returns to his village to find that centuries have passed. It's a story rich with themes of time, mortality, the allure of the unknown, and the bittersweet nature of nostalgia. Urashima Taro was a young fisherman who lived a simple life in a small village by the sea. He spent his days fishing in the ocean, providing for his family and living in harmony with nature. One day, while fishing, Taro encountered a group of children torturing a turtle. Moved by compassion, he rescued the turtle and released it back into the sea. He returned home, thinking nothing more of the incident. The next day, while fishing in the same spot, Taro was approached by a beautiful woman. She told him that she was the daughter of the Dragon King, Ryujin, who ruled the underwater kingdom of Ryugujo. The turtle that Taro had saved was one of the Dragon King's messengers, and Ryujin was deeply grateful for Taro's kindness. The woman invited Taro to visit Ryugujo and be rewarded for his good deed. Intrigued and honored by the invitation, Taro accepted. The woman transformed into a turtle and carried Taro on her back, diving deep into the ocean. After a long journey, they arrived at Ryugujo, a magnificent palace made of coral and jewels, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Taro was greeted by Ryujin himself, who welcomed him with great honor and showered him with gifts. Taro spent what he believed to be only a few days in Ryugujo, enjoying the hospitality of the Dragon King and his court. He was entertained by beautiful music, exquisite food, and enchanting dances. He forgot all about his life in the village and reveled in the pleasures of the underwater kingdom. However, after a while, Taro began to miss his family and his village. He longed to return home and see his loved ones. He approached Ryujin and expressed his desire to return to the surface world. Ryujin was saddened by Taro's decision to leave, but understood his longing for his home. He presented Taro with a beautiful jeweled box, called a tamatabeko, as a parting gift. He warned Taro never to open the box under any circumstances. He told him that the box contained a precious secret, but opening it would have unforeseen consequences. Taro thanked Ryujin for his kindness and promised to follow his instructions. He bid farewell to the Dragon King and his court and was carried back to the surface by the same turtle who had brought him to Ryugujo. Taro arrived back at his village, eager to reunite with his family. However, he was shocked to find that everything had changed. His house was gone, and the people he knew were nowhere to be seen. He asked the villagers if they knew of a fisherman named Urashima Taro, but no one recognized the name. Confused and disheartened, Taro wandered through the village, trying to make sense of what had happened. Eventually, he came across an old man who told him a story about a fisherman named Urashima Taro who had disappeared many years ago and was presumed to be dead. Taro realized with horror that he had been gone for centuries. The few days he had spent in Ryugujo were equivalent to hundreds of years in the surface world. His family was long gone, and his village had changed beyond recognition. Overwhelmed by grief and despair, Taro forgot Ryujin's warning and opened the tamatabeko. As soon as he opened the box, a cloud of white smoke billowed out. The smoke enveloped Taro. He had squandered his life in the blink of an eye. He died shortly after, a victim of time and his own curiosity. The story of Urashima Taro is a cautionary tale about the passage of time, the importance of cherishing the present, and the potential consequences of seeking escape from reality. It's a reminder that time moves relentlessly forward, and we cannot recapture the past. Imagine the shimmering palace beneath the sea, the fleeting moments of joy and wonder, the return to a changed world, and the puff of smoke that steals away a lifetime, a wistful and reflective lullaby about time and memory. Urashima Taro, a fisherman, saved a turtle and was invited to the underwater kingdom of Ryugujo. He spent a few days there, but when he returned to his village, centuries had passed. He opened a forbidden box, aging rapidly and dying. The tale is a cautionary reminder about the passage of time and the importance of cherishing the present. Fact 2. The Norse myth of Baldur's death. The death of Baldur, the fairest and most beloved of the Aesir gods in Norse mythology, is a pivotal event that foreshadows the coming of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. Baldur's death is not merely a tragedy. It is a complex narrative interwoven with themes of fate, prophecy, jealousy, and the ultimate vulnerability of even the most powerful beings. Baldur, the son of Odin and Frigg, was renowned for his radiant beauty, his gentle nature, and his unwavering goodness. He was so pure and virtuous that light seemed to emanate from him, and his presence brought joy and peace to all who beheld him. Baldur was married to Nanna, and they had a son named Forseti, the god of justice. One night, Baldur began to experience disturbing dreams that foretold his own death. He was plagued by nightmares filled with darkness, shadows, and the sense of impending doom. He shared these dreams with the other Aesir, causing great alarm and anxiety among them. Odin, the All-Father, deeply concerned for his son's safety, rode Sleipnir, his 8-legged horse, down to Niflheim, the realm of the dead, to consult with a seeress. He awakened her from her slumber and demanded to know the meaning of Baldur's dreams. The seeress reluctantly revealed that Baldur was indeed destined to die, and that his death would be a catalyst for the events leading up to Ragnarok. Frigg, Baldur's mother, was heartbroken and determined to prevent her son's death. She traveled throughout the 9 realms, seeking oaths from every creature and object, both living and inanimate, promising that they would never harm Baldur. She obtained oaths from fire, water, iron, stone, trees, diseases, and all the beasts of the earth. Believing that Baldur was now invulnerable, the Aesir gods began to amuse themselves by throwing objects at him during their gatherings. They hurled stones, spears, and axes at Baldur, but nothing could harm him. He remained unharmed, much to the delight and reassurance of the gods. However, Loki, the trickster god, was envious of Baldur's popularity and resentful of his invulnerability. He was a master of deception and mischief, and he sought to disrupt the peace and harmony of the Aesir. Disguised as an old woman, Loki visited Frigg and cunningly inquired if she had obtained oaths from absolutely everything. Frigg, confident in her success, admitted that she had overlooked one thing: a small mistletoe plant, which she deemed too young and harmless to pose any threat. Loki seized upon this information with malicious glee. He immediately sought out the mistletoe and fashioned it into a dart or arrow. He then returned to Asgard, where the gods were still engaged in their game of throwing objects at Baldur. Loki approached Hoder, Baldur's blind brother, who was standing on the sidelines, unable to participate in the game because of his blindness. Loki offered to guide Hodor's hand and help him throw the mistletoe dart at Balder. Hodor, unaware of Loki's treachery, gratefully accepted the offer. Guided by the gods were overcome with sorrow and disbelief. The light had gone out of the world. The death of Balder marked the beginning of a series of tragic events that would ultimately lead to Ragnarok. His funeral was a grand and somber affair. His body was placed on a magnificent ship, Ringhorni, along with his wife Nanna, who died of grief upon witnessing her husband's death. The ship was then set ablaze and sent out to sea, carrying Balder and Nanna to the realm of the dead. The Aesir sought revenge for Balder's death. Loki was eventually captured and imprisoned in a cave, bound with the entrails of his son Narfi. A venomous serpent was placed above him, dripping poison onto his face. Loki's wife, Sigyn, remained by his side, catching the poison in a bowl. But when she had to empty the bowl, the poison would drip onto Loki's face, causing him to writhe in agony, which caused earthquakes in Midgard. The death of Balder represents the loss of innocence and the inevitability of fate. It is a reminder that even the most beautiful and virtuous beings are not immune to tragedy. It foreshadows the destruction and renewal that will occur during Ragnarok, ultimately leading to a new world. Imagine the radiant light of Balder, the sorrowful journey to Niflheim, the deceptive whisper of Loki, and the single deadly dart that plunged the world into darkness. A somber lullaby of fate and loss, but also of eventual renewal. Balder, the fairest of the Aesir, had dreams of his death. His mother, Frigg, sought oaths from everything not to harm him, but she overlooked mistletoe. Loki tricked Hodor into throwing a mistletoe dart, killing Balder. His death foreshadows Ragnarok, representing the loss of innocence and the inevitability of fate, but also the promise of eventual renewal. Fact 3. The story of Psyche and Eros. The tale of Psyche and Eros, often referred to as Cupid and Psyche in Roman mythology, is a beautiful and complex love story that explores themes of trust, beauty, jealousy, and the transformative power of love. It's a story that has resonated through the ages, inspiring countless works of art and literature. Psyche was a mortal woman of unparalleled beauty. Her loveliness was so extraordinary that people began to neglect the worship of Aphrodite, Venus in Roman mythology, the goddess of beauty. Aphrodite, consumed by jealousy, could not tolerate the mortal Psyche receiving more adoration than herself. Driven by rage and envy, Aphrodite summoned her son, Eros, Cupid, the god of love. She commanded him to use his golden arrows to make Psyche fall in love with a hideous and unworthy creature. Eros was known for his ability to incite love or hatred with his arrows, and Aphrodite intended to use his power to punish Psyche for her perceived affront. However, when Eros saw Psyche, he was immediately struck by her beauty. He was so captivated that he accidentally pricked himself with one of his own golden arrows, causing him to fall deeply in love with her. Eros, defying his mother's command, secretly arranged for Psyche to be transported to his hidden palace. He visited her only at night, in complete darkness, forbidding her from ever trying to look upon his face. He told her that their love depended on her absolute trust and that seeing his true form would break their bond. Psyche lived in luxurious comfort in Eros's palace. She was waited on by invisible servants, entertained by beautiful music, and showered with gifts. However, she was lonely and missed her family. She pleaded with Eros to allow her sisters to visit her. Eros, reluctantly, agreed, but he warned Psyche that her sisters were envious and would try to undermine their happiness. He cautioned her not to listen to their advice and to never, ever attempt to see his face. When Psyche's sisters arrived, they were astonished by the wealth and grandeur of her palace. They told her that her husband was likely a monstrous beast who was hiding his true form from her and that she was in grave danger. They urged her to disobey Eros's command and discover his true identity. Psyche, overcome by fear and suspicion, succumbed to her sister's influence. One night, as Eros slept beside her, she took a lamp and a sharp knife. She lit the lamp and cautiously approached her sleeping husband. As the light fell upon Eros's face, Psyche gasped in awe. He was not a monster but a beautiful and radiant god. Overwhelmed by his beauty, she trembled, and a drop of hot oil spilled from the lamp onto Eros's shoulder, waking him. Eros, betrayed and heartbroken by Psyche's lack of trust, fled from her in sorrow. He could no longer remain with her after she had broken her promise and disobeyed his command. Their palace vanished, leaving Psyche alone and desolate in the wilderness. Psyche, filled with remorse and despair, wandered the earth in search of Eros. She realized the depth of her love for him and was determined to win him back. She sought the help of various gods and goddesses, but many were reluctant to interfere in Aphrodite's affairs. Finally, Psyche decided to confront Aphrodite directly. She went to the goddess's temple and offered herself as a servant, willing to endure any punishment in order to earn Aphrodite's forgiveness and win back Eros's love. Aphrodite, still vengeful, subjected Psyche to a series of impossible tasks. She commanded her to sort a huge pile of mixed grains before nightfall, to gather golden wool from dangerous sheep, to collect water from the treacherous river Styx, and finally, to travel to the underworld and obtain a box of beauty from Persephone, the queen of the dead. Psyche, with the help of various creatures and divine interventions, managed to complete each task, demonstrating her resilience, determination, and growing wisdom. In the final task, Psyche was warned not to open the box of beauty from Persephone, but her curiosity got the better of her. Hoping to enhance her own beauty in order to please Eros, she opened the box. Instead of beauty, however, the box contained a deep, death-like sleep. Psyche fell into a profound slumber. Eros, who had been recovering from his wound, finally realized the depth of Psyche's love and her unwavering devotion. He flew to her side and gently pricked her with one of his arrows, awakening her from her sleep. Eros then appealed to Zeus, the king of the gods, for help. He pleaded with Zeus to grant Psyche immortality so that they could be together forever. Zeus, moved by their love, agreed. Zeus summoned all the gods and goddesses to Mount Olympus and officially married Psyche and Eros. Psyche was granted immortality and became the goddess of the soul. Their union symbolized the marriage of love and soul, a testament to the enduring power of love to overcome all obstacles. Psyche and Eros eventually had a daughter, Voluptas, Hedon in Greek, the goddess of pleasure. The story of Psyche and Eros is a timeless reminder of the importance of trust, forgiveness, and the transformative power of love. It's a beautiful exploration of the human soul and its journey towards enlightenment and fulfillment. Imagine the whispering wings of Eros, the fragrant breezes of Psyche's palace, and the soft glow of the lamp illuminating a love that transcends mortality, a perfect dream. Psyche, a mortal of great beauty, angered Aphrodite, who tasked Eros to make her fall in love with a monster. Eros fell in love with Psyche himself and kept his identity hidden. Driven by jealousy, Psyche's sisters convinced her to look at him, breaking his trust. After enduring impossible tasks, Fact 4. The story of Tristan and Isolde. The tale of Tristan and Isolde, also known as Tristan and Isolde, is a tragic romance that has echoed through centuries, captivating audiences with its themes of forbidden love, duty, betrayal, and the inescapable power of fate. While variations exist across different tellings, the core story remains a powerful exploration of human emotions and the conflict between personal desire and societal expectations. Tristan was a skilled knight, the nephew of King Mark of Cornwall. He was known for his bravery, his loyalty, and his prowess in battle. He was a valiant warrior and a trusted advisor to the king. King Mark was tasked with marrying Isolde, a beautiful Irish princess, to secure peace between Cornwall and Ireland. Tristan was sent to Ireland as Mark's champion, to win Isolde's hand in marriage and escort her back to Cornwall. During his time in Ireland, Tristan faced various challenges, including slaying a dragon that had been terrorizing the land. He proved his valor and won the respect of the Irish court. Isolde, daughter of the Irish king, was a skilled healer and a woman of great beauty and intelligence. She was betrothed to King Mark, but she had never met him and held no affection for him. As Tristan prepared to escort Isolde back to Cornwall, Isolde's mother entrusted her maid, Brangaine, with a love potion. This potion was intended to be consumed by Isolde and King Mark on their wedding night, ensuring that they would fall deeply in love and their marriage would be blessed with happiness. However, during the voyage back to Cornwall, Tristan and Isolde accidentally drank the love potion, believing it to be wine. The potion's effects were immediate and irreversible. Tristan and Isolde fell deeply and passionately in love. Their love was all-consuming, defying logic and reason. They knew that their love was forbidden, as Isolde was destined to marry King Mark and Tristan was loyal to his uncle. But they were powerless to resist the potion's magic and the overwhelming attraction they felt for each other. Their love affair began in secret, hidden from the eyes of the court and the king. They met in secluded places, exchanging stolen kisses and whispered promises. Brangaine, aware of their secret love, did her best to protect them and conceal their relationship from King Mark. However, their secret could not remain hidden forever. Suspicion grew among the courtiers, and rumors of their affair reached King Mark's ears. He was torn between his love for Isolde and his trust in Tristan. King Mark attempted to test their loyalty, but Tristan and Isolde managed to deceive him, using their cunning and the help of Brangaine. However, their deception only prolonged the inevitable. Eventually, their love affair was exposed. Tristan was banished from Cornwall, and Isolde was forced to marry King Mark. Their separation was agonizing, but they knew that their love could never be fulfilled. Tristan wandered the land, heartbroken and alone. He eventually arrived in Brittany, where he met another Isolde, Isolde of the White Hands, the daughter of the Duke of Brittany. He married her, hoping to forget his love for Isolde of Ireland. However, Tristan could never truly forget Isolde of Ireland. He remained haunted by her memory and tormented by his forbidden love. His marriage to Isolde of the White Hands was loveless and unfulfilling. Tristan was eventually wounded by a poisoned spear. Knowing that he was dying, he sent a message to Isolde of Ireland. Isolde of Ireland, upon receiving Tristan's message, immediately set sail for Brittany. Isolde of the White Hands, consumed by jealousy, lied to Tristan, telling him that the ship was returning with a black sail. Hearing this, Tristan, heartbroken and believing that Isolde had abandoned him, died of despair. When Isolde of Ireland arrived in Brittany and learned of Tristan's death, she was overcome with grief. She went to Tristan's side and, embracing his lifeless body, died of a broken heart. King Mark, upon hearing of their tragic deaths, traveled to Brittany and brought their bodies back to Cornwall. He buried them side by side, and from their graves grew a tangled briar rose, symbolizing their eternal love. The story of Tristan and Isolde is a timeless tale of love and tragedy, a poignant exploration of the human heart and the enduring power of passion. It is a reminder that love can be both a source of joy and a cause of immense suffering. Imagine the crashing waves of the sea during their secret rendezvous, the bittersweet taste of the love potion, and the final, heart-wrenching scene of their deaths. A sorrowful yet beautiful lullaby of forbidden love and ultimate sacrifice. Tristan and Isolde, through a love potion, fell deeply in love despite Isolde being betrothed to King Mark. Their affair was discovered, and Tristan was banished. He married another Isolde but never forgot his true love. He sent for Isolde of Ireland before dying, but was falsely told she refused. She arrived to find him dead and died of grief beside him. The story is a tragic exploration of forbidden love and fate. Fact 5. The Amaterasu and the Cave. Amaterasu Amakami, the sun goddess, is the central deity in Shinto mythology. She is the ruler of the heavens, the source of light and warmth, and the ancestor of the Japanese imperial family. Her name translates to shining heaven or great divinity shining in the sky. Amaterasu is typically depicted as a beautiful and radiant woman, radiating warmth and benevolence. She is revered as the bringer of life and prosperity, essential for the growth of crops and the well-being of all living things. Her influence extends to all aspects of Japanese culture, from agriculture to art and government. The most famous myth associated with Amaterasu is the story of her retreat into the Amano Iwado, the heavenly rock cave. This event plunged the world into darkness and chaos, threatening the very existence of life on Earth. The story begins with a conflict between Amaterasu and her impetuous younger brother, Susanoo no Mikoto, the god of storms and the sea. Susanoo, known for his mischievous and often destructive behavior, caused great turmoil in the heavens. He vandalized Amaterasu's rice fields, polluted her sacred weaving hall, and even hurled a flayed pony at her, resulting in the death of one of her attendants. Amaterasu, deeply hurt and angered by Susanoo's actions, felt that the heavens had become tainted by his disruptive presence. Overwhelmed by grief and despair, she retreated into the Amano Iwado, sealing the entrance with a large rock. As Amaterasu hid herself in the cave, the world was plunged into darkness. The sun vanished, and the land was shrouded in eternal night. Crops withered and died, animals perished, and the entire world teetered on the brink of destruction. The other deities, the kami, were deeply distressed and realized that they had to find a way to coax Amaterasu out of the cave. The kami gathered together to devise a plan to lure Amaterasu back into the world. They decided to hold a grand celebration outside the entrance of the cave, hoping to pique her curiosity and draw her out. Aim-no-Yuzum, the goddess of dawn and revelry, played a crucial role in this plan. She overturned a tub and began to dance upon it, performing a wild and suggestive. Curious about what was happening outside, she cautiously peeked out from behind the rock. At that moment, Aim-no-Tajikareo, the god of strength, was waiting. As Amaterasu emerged, he swiftly grabbed the rock and threw it far away, preventing her from retreating back into the cave. As Amaterasu emerged from the cave, her radiant light flooded the world once again. The sun returned to the sky, and life was restored to the land. The kami rejoiced at her return, and the world was saved from eternal darkness. The story of Amaterasu and the cave is a powerful allegory about the importance of light, hope, and community. It highlights the destructive consequences of conflict and the power of unity and celebration to overcome adversity. The myth is also connected to the winter solstice, representing the return of light after the darkest time of the year. The dance performed by Aim-no-Yuzum is considered the origin of Kagura, a type of Shinto theatrical dance. Imagine the world plunged into darkness, then slowly, tentatively, bathed in light once more. Let the rhythm of Aim-no-Yuzum's dance lull you to sleep, a celebration of light conquering darkness. Amaterasu, the Japanese sun goddess, retreated into a cave after a conflict with her brother, plunging the world into darkness. The other deities lured her out with a celebration, restoring light and life to the land. It's a story about the importance of light, hope, and community, and the power of unity to overcome adversity. Fact 6. The Irish myth of the Children of Lyre. The story of the Children of Lyre is one of the most poignant and tragic tales from Irish mythology. It speaks of betrayal, sorrow, and the enduring power of love and resilience. Lyre was a powerful chieftain, a figure of prominence among the Tuatha Dé Danann, the mythical race who inhabited Ireland before the coming of humans. Lyre had 4 beautiful children, a daughter, Fionnuala, and 3 sons, Aegon, Fiachra, and Conn. After the death of his wife, Lyre married Aoife, a woman of great beauty but also driven by jealousy and dark magic. Initially, Aoife seemed to adore her stepchildren. However, her affection soon turned to bitter envy. She was consumed by the thought that Lyre loved his children more than he loved her. This jealousy festered within her until it transformed into a malevolent desire to harm them. One day, Aoife suggested to Lyre that they take the children on a journey to visit their grandfather. Lyre, trusting his wife, agreed. As they traveled towards their destination, Aoife led the children to a secluded lake, Loch Derryverig. While the children were swimming, Aoife unleashed her dark magic. She chanted an incantation, transforming them into swans. The once vibrant and joyful children were now trapped within the bodies of elegant, white birds. Fionnuala, the eldest, retained her voice and some of her human faculties. She cursed Aoife for her treachery and demanded to know how long this enchantment would last. Aoife, filled with spite and malice, declared that the children would remain swans for 900 years. 300 years on Loch Derryverig, 300 years on the Sea of Moyle, and 300 years on Inish Glora. Aoife then returned to Lyre, telling him that the children had been lost in an accident. Lyre, heartbroken and suspicious, searched tirelessly for his beloved children. Eventually, he discovered the swans on Loch Derryverig and heard Fionnuala's mournful voice. The children of Lyre spent the next 9 centuries enduring hardship and loneliness. They could only communicate through their swan voices, singing haunting melodies that echoed across the lakes and seas. On Inish Glora, they found some solace in the presence of a hermit who recognized their plight and offered them comfort. He listened to their stories and wrote down their songs, preserving their tale for future generations. As the 900 years drew to a close, the sound of church bells reached Inish Glora. Agon, Fiachra, and Khan were drawn to the sound and flew towards the church. Fionnuala, however, hesitated. She knew that the enchantment was about to break and feared what the future held. The bells were rung by a holy man named Caamhog, Kevin. When the swans landed near the church, Caamhog recognized them as the legendary children of Lyre. He reached out to them, and as he touched them, the swans transformed back into human form. However, the children had aged dramatically during their time as swans. They were now ancient and withered, their bodies bearing the weight of centuries of suffering. They had lived far beyond the natural lifespan of humans. Shortly after their transformation, the children of Lyre died peacefully, their long ordeal finally over. They were buried together, their story becoming a timeless symbol of the enduring power of love, the cruelty of betrayal, and the transformative nature of sorrow. The story is often interpreted as an allegory for the transition from pagan Ireland to Christian Ireland. The tale of the children of Lyre continues to resonate with audiences today. It is a reminder of the importance of family, the devastating consequences of jealousy, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Imagine their swan song, a lullaby of loss and longing, floating across the ancient Irish landscapes. The children of Lyre were transformed into swans by their jealous stepmother, Aoife, and forced to endure 900 years of hardship. They were eventually transformed back into humans but died soon after, their story becoming a symbol of love, betrayal, and resilience. It's a beautiful, if tragic, tale of ancient Ireland. Fact 7. The Legend of Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, is one of the most important and complex deities in Mesoamerican mythology. Revered by cultures such as the Olmec, Toltec, and Aztec civilizations, Quetzalcoatl embodies a unique blend of bird and serpent, representing the union of the celestial and terrestrial realms. He is a god of wisdom, knowledge, arts, crafts, and the wind. His name, a combination of Quetzal, a beautiful, vibrantly colored bird, and Cotl, serpent, reflects his dual nature. The Quetzal, with its iridescent feathers, symbolized the heavens, freedom, and spiritual aspiration. The serpent, on the other hand, represented the earth, fertility, and primal energy. Quetzalcoatl, therefore, was seen as a mediator between the spiritual and material worlds, a bridge between the heavens and the earth. There are various stories surrounding Quetzalcoatl's birth and origins. Some accounts claim that he was born from a virgin, Kaimalman, after she swallowed a piece of jade. Others state that he was the son of Mixcoatl, a hunting god, and Kaimalman. Regardless of his origin story, Quetzalcoatl was destined for greatness. Quetzalcoatl is often credited with bringing civilization to humanity. He is said to have discovered maize corn, a staple food in Mesoamerica, and taught people how to cultivate it. He also introduced the arts of writing, calendrical systems, and metalworking. He was a patron of learning and knowledge, encouraging people to pursue wisdom and understanding. One of the most famous legends associated with Quetzalcoatl is his reign in the city of Tula, the capital of the Toltec civilization. During his rule, Tula flourished and became a center of culture and prosperity. However, Quetzalcoatl's idyllic reign was not to last. He was tricked and deceived by Tezcatlipoca, a powerful and cunning god often associated with darkness, magic, and conflict. Tezcatlipoca, envious of Quetzalcoatl's power and influence, plotted his downfall. Tezcatlipoca used his magical abilities to tempt Quetzalcoatl with forbidden pleasures. He offered him pulque, an alcoholic beverage which Quetzalcoatl, who was normally abstemious, consumed. Under the influence of the pulque, Quetzalcoatl committed acts that violated his principles and brought shame upon him. In some versions of the legend, Tezcatlipoca showed Quetzalcoatl his own reflection in a mirror, revealing the aging and decaying nature of his physical form. This caused Quetzalcoatl great distress and led him to question his own divinity. Overcome with guilt and remorse, Quetzalcoatl decided to abandon Tula. He journeyed eastward, towards the coast, promising to return one day. According to some accounts, he set himself on fire and ascended into the heavens, transforming into the planet Venus, the morning and evening star. Other versions say he sailed away on a raft of serpents, disappearing into the eastern sea. The legend of Quetzalcoatl had a profound impact on Mesoamerican history and culture. The Aztecs, in particular, believed in his eventual return. When the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés arrived in Mexico in 1519, some Aztecs mistakenly believed that he was Quetzalcoatl, returning as promised. This misidentification played a significant role in the early stages of the Spanish conquest. Quetzalcoatl remains a powerful symbol in Mexican culture. He represents the pursuit of knowledge, the importance of balance, and the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. His story is a reminder of the potential for both greatness and downfall, and the enduring power of hope and renewal. His complex symbolism and fascinating narrative make him a truly captivating figure in world mythology. Close your eyes and imagine the vibrant feathers, the slithering serpent, and the promise of return, a gentle lullaby of Mesoamerican lore. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, is a Mesoamerican deity embodying wisdom, arts, and the wind. He brought civilization to humanity but was tricked by Tezcatlipoca and forced to leave. He promised to return and is associated with the planet Venus. His legend highlights balance, the cyclical nature of life, and the enduring power of hope. Fact 8. The Mabinogion. The Mabinogion is a collection of 11 prose stories drawn from medieval Welsh manuscripts. It blends mythology, folklore, history, and romance, offering a fascinating glimpse into the rich cultural heritage of Wales. While not a unified epic like the Kalevala, the Mabinogion's tales are interconnected by characters, themes, and a shared sense of magic and wonder. The term Mabinogion itself is somewhat debated. It was originally used by Lady Charlotte Guest, who translated and published the first English version of the tales in the 19th century. The exact meaning of the word is uncertain, but it may be related to Mab, meaning son, or youth, suggesting stories appropriate for young people or apprentices. The Mabinogion is typically divided into 4 branches, which focus on different families and regions of Wales. These branches are the first branch, Pwyll, Prince of Dyfed. This branch tells the story of Pwyll, a prince who exchanges places with Arawn, the Lord of and the Otherworld, for a year and a day. Pwyll learns about leadership, honor, and the importance of keeping one's word. He also encounters Rhiannon, a mysterious and beautiful woman who becomes his wife. The second branch, Branwen, daughter of Llyr. This branch focuses on Branwen, the sister of Bran the Blessed, a giant king. Branwen is given in marriage to the King of Ireland to secure peace, but she is mistreated and abused. Her brothers, led by Bran, launch a devastating war against Ireland to rescue her. The branch is a tragic tale of betrayal. He and his companions return to Dyfed, but a magical enchantment leaves the land barren. Manawydan uses his cunning and skills to overcome the enchantment and restore prosperity to the land. The fourth branch, Math, son of Mathenwy. This branch centers on Math, a powerful magician king, and his nephew, Gwydion, a trickster and shapeshifter. Gwydion causes chaos and conflict, leading to war and tragedy. The branch is a complex tale of power, ambition, and the consequences of deception. In addition to the 4 branches, the Mabinogion also includes several independent tales, such as Culhwch and Olwen. This tale is a fantastical quest story featuring King Arthur and his knights. Culhwch seeks the hand of Olwen, but her giant father, Ysbaddaden Chief Giant, sets him a series of impossible tasks. With the help of Arthur and his companions, Culhwch overcomes the challenges and wins Olwen's hand. The Dream of Maxen Ledig. This tale tells the story of the Roman Emperor Magnus Maximus, Maxen Ledig, who has a dream of a beautiful maiden in a faraway land. He sends his men to find her, and she turns out to be Elin Luidog, the daughter of a Welsh chieftain. Maxen marries Elin and becomes the ruler of Britain. Lud and Leafleys. This tale recounts the story of 2 brothers who save Britain from 3 plagues. The Coraniaid, a race of supernatural beings, a terrifying scream that causes barrenness, and a series of mysterious disappearances. The Dream of Rhonabwy. This tale is a satirical and humorous account of a dream journey into the past, where Rhonabwy witnesses the court of King Arthur in all its glory and absurdity. Taliesin. This tale recounts the mythical biography of Taliesin, a famous Welsh bard. It tells of his miraculous birth, his acquisition of knowledge and wisdom, and his battles with other poets. The Mabinogion is a treasure trove of Welsh mythology and folklore. Its stories offer a glimpse into the beliefs, values, and social structures of medieval Wales. The tales are filled with magic, adventure, romance, and tragedy, reflecting the complexities of human life and the enduring power of storytelling. Imagine the enchanted forests of Wales, the battles between giants and heroes, the whispers of magic in the air, and the enduring power of love and loss, a soothing and evocative lullaby of Celtic myth and legend. The Mabinogion is a collection of 11 Welsh prose stories blending mythology, folklore, and history, divided into 4 branches and several independent tales. It features characters like Pwyll, Branwen, Gwydion, and Arthur. The stories explore themes of honor, betrayal, magic, and the complexities of human life within Welsh culture. Fact 9. The Legend of the Rainbow Serpent. The rainbow serpent, also known by various names across different Aboriginal language groups in Australia, is one of the most ancient and widespread creation figures in Aboriginal mythology. It is a powerful and complex symbol representing the life-giver, protector, and sometimes a destructive force deeply connected to water, fertility, and the land. The rainbow serpent is not simply a snake. It is a primordial being, a creator spirit that shaped the landscape and brought life to the world. The specific details of the rainbow serpent stories vary greatly depending on the region and the Aboriginal group telling the tale, but some common themes persist throughout the continent. In many Aboriginal Dreamtime stories, the rainbow serpent emerged from the earth in the beginning, a time when the world was flat, featureless, and devoid of life. As it moved across the land, it carved out rivers, gorges, and mountains, shaping the physical environment. The serpent's movements also brought forth plants, animals, and eventually the first people. The rainbow serpent is often associated with waterholes, springs, rivers, and rain. It is believed to live in deep waterholes, which are considered sacred places, and its presence ensures the continuation of life. The serpent controls the rainfall, and its actions can bring either abundance or drought. The colors of the rainbow are seen as a manifestation of the serpent's power. When the rainbow appears after a storm, it is interpreted as the rainbow serpent emerging from the water, replenishing the land and promising renewed life. The serpent's scales are often described as shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. The rainbow serpent is not always benevolent. It can also be a dangerous and destructive force. If angered or disrespected, it can cause floods, storms, and even swallow. Traditional owners of the land have a deep understanding of the serpent's power and the importance of maintaining a harmonious relationship with it. They perform ceremonies and rituals to honor the serpent and ensure the continuation of its life-giving force. These rituals often involve singing, dancing, and storytelling, passing down the knowledge of the Dreamtime from one generation to the next. The rainbow serpent is also a powerful symbol of Aboriginal identity and culture. It represents the deep connection between Aboriginal people and the land, their spiritual beliefs, and their enduring cultural heritage. The serpent is often depicted in Aboriginal art, including rock paintings, bark paintings, and sculptures, serving as a visual reminder of the Dreamtime stories and the importance of preserving traditional knowledge. The stories of the rainbow serpent are not just ancient myths. They are living narratives that continue to shape Aboriginal culture and identity today. They provide a framework for understanding the world, the relationship between humans and nature, and the importance of respecting the land and its resources. The rainbow serpent serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all things and the need to maintain a balance between the spiritual and the material world. Close your eyes and imagine the vast Australian landscape, the shimmering heat, and the flash of colors as the rainbow serpent moves across the land, creating life and shaping the world, a soothing image of creation and connection. The rainbow serpent is a central figure in Australian Aboriginal mythology, a creator spirit associated with water, fertility, and the land. It shaped the landscape, brought life, and controls the rainfall. The serpent can be both benevolent and destructive, demanding respect and maintaining a harmonious relationship. It's a powerful symbol of Aboriginal identity, culture, and the interconnectedness of all things. Fact 10. The story of Chang'e and the moon. The legend of Chang'e, the moon goddess, is one of the most beloved and enduring tales in Chinese mythology. It's a romantic and wistful story involving immortality, sacrifice, separation, and the enduring power of love, all set against the backdrop of the luminous moon. In ancient times, it is said that there were 10 suns scorching the earth. The heat was unbearable, causing droughts, famine, and widespread suffering among the people. The Jade Emperor, the ruler of heaven, was deeply concerned and sent the skilled archer Hou-Yi to help. Hou-Yi, renowned for his exceptional archery skills, descended to earth with his beautiful wife, Chang'e. Seeing the devastation caused by the 10 suns, Hou-Yi took aim with his bow and arrows and shot down 9 of them. Only one sun remained in the sky, providing the world with warmth and light without the scorching heat. Hou-Yi became a hero, revered by the people for saving them from disaster. He and Chang'e lived a happy and prosperous life, enjoying the gratitude of the people they had helped. However, Hou-Yi knew that he was still mortal and that one day he would grow old and die. Seeking immortality, Hou-Yi traveled to the Kunlun Mountains to visit the Queen Mother of the West, Shi Wangmu, a powerful goddess who possessed the elixir of immortality. Shi Wangmu, impressed by Hou-Yi's bravery and his service to humanity, granted him a vial containing the elixir. However, she warned him that the vial contained only enough elixir for one person to become fully immortal, or for 2 people to become partially immortal, gaining lesser divine powers and extended lifespans. Hou-Yi returned home with the elixir and consulted with Chang'e. They decided to wait for an auspicious day to share the elixir, hoping to achieve partial immortality together and continue their lives together on Earth. They carefully hid the elixir in a safe place within their home. However, one of Hou-Yi's apprentices, Feng Meng, was envious of Hou-Yi's fame and power and coveted the elixir of immortality for himself. While Hou-Yi was out hunting, Feng Meng broke into their home and attempted to steal the elixir. Chang'e discovered Feng Meng's treachery and realized the danger he posed. Knowing that she could not defeat Feng Meng in a fight, she acted quickly to protect the elixir. She grabbed the vial and, without hesitation, drank the entire contents. Immediately, she had saved the elixir from falling into the wrong hands, but she was now separated from her beloved husband, Hou-Yi. As she reached the moon, she realized that it was a desolate and lonely place. Upon reaching the moon, Chang'e transformed into a lunar spirit. Some versions of the myth say that she was accompanied by a jade rabbit, who became her companion on the moon. Other versions say that she transformed into a toad, a symbol of longevity. Hou-Yi returned home to find Chang'e gone and the elixir missing. He was heartbroken to learn what had happened. He looked up at the moon and saw Chang'e's silhouette. He realized that she had sacrificed herself to protect the elixir and save him from Feng Meng's treachery. Grief-stricken, Hou-Yi set up an altar in his garden and offered Chang'e her favorite fruits and cakes. He gazed at the moon and called out her name, longing to be reunited with her. The story of Chang'e and the moon is celebrated every year during the Mid-Autumn Festival, also known as the Moon Festival. On this day, families gather together to admire the full moon, eat mooncakes, round pastries filled with sweet bean paste or lotus seed paste, and tell the story of Chang'e and Hou-yi. The roundness of the mooncakes symbolizes family unity and completeness. The legend of Chang'e is a reminder of the enduring power of love, the importance of sacrifice, and the beauty of the moon. It is a story that has been passed down through generations, inspiring art, literature, and cultural traditions. Imagine the 10 suns scorching the earth, the heroic archer Hou-yi, the beautiful Chang'e floating towards the moon, and the soft glow of the lunar orb illuminating the night sky, a gentle and comforting lullaby of love and separation, sacrifice and remembrance. Chang'e, wife of the archer Hou-yi, drank the elixir of immortality to prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. She ascended to the moon, becoming a lunar spirit. Hou-yi, heartbroken, offered her favorite foods, creating the tradition of the Mid-Autumn Festival. The story celebrates love, sacrifice, and the beauty of the moon. Fact 11. The story of Icarus and Daedalus. The myth of Icarus and Daedalus is a poignant and cautionary tale from Greek mythology, exploring themes of ingenuity, freedom, ambition, disobedience, and the tragic consequences of ignoring wise counsel. It's a story that has resonated for centuries, serving as a reminder of the dangers of hubris and the importance of balance. Daedalus was a brilliant Athenian inventor, architect, and craftsman, renowned for his skill and ingenuity. He was said to be a descendant of the god Hephaestus, the god of fire and metalworking, and possessed a natural talent for creating extraordinary things. Daedalus was responsible for many remarkable inventions, including the labyrinth, a complex maze built for King Minos of Crete to imprison the Minotaur, a creature that was half man and half bull. He also invented tools such as the axe, the saw, and the plumb line, and he was a skilled sculptor. However, Daedalus was also a flawed character. He was envious of his nephew, Perdix, who showed even greater promise as an inventor. In a fit of jealousy, Daedalus murdered Perdix and was forced to flee from Athens to escape punishment. Daedalus sought refuge in Crete, where he was welcomed by King Minos. He served as the king's architect and craftsman, creating many magnificent structures and inventions for the Cretan court. After completing the labyrinth, Daedalus and his son, Icarus, were imprisoned by King Minos, who feared that Daedalus would reveal the secrets of the maze to others. Minos controlled the land and the sea, making escape seemingly impossible. Daedalus, ever resourceful, devised a plan to escape from Crete by air. He reasoned that while Minos controlled the land and the sea, he did not control the sky. He decided to build wings for himself and Icarus, allowing them to fly away to freedom. Daedalus gathered feathers of various sizes and shapes and carefully before they took flight. Daedalus warned Icarus of the dangers of flying too high or too low. He cautioned him not to fly too close to the sun, as the heat would melt the wax that held the feathers together. He also warned him not to fly too close to the sea, as the dampness would weigh down the wings. Daedalus instructed Icarus to follow him closely and to stay at a moderate altitude. He emphasized the importance of balance and moderation, urging Icarus to heed his advice. With the wings attached, Daedalus and Icarus took flight, soaring into the sky above Crete. Daedalus flew ahead, guiding Icarus and demonstrating the proper technique for flying. At first, Icarus followed his father's instructions, enjoying the thrill of flight and the breathtaking views from above. However, as they flew higher and higher, Icarus became intoxicated by the sensation of freedom and the power of flight. He began to disregard his father's warnings, flying higher and higher, closer and closer to the sun. He was captivated by the warmth and the light, and he felt an irresistible urge to reach the heavens. Daedalus, realizing the danger, called out to Icarus, urging him to come back down. But Icarus was too caught up in his own ambition and ignored his father's pleas. As Icarus flew closer to the sun, the heat began to melt the wax that held the feathers together. The wings started to disintegrate, and the feathers began to fall away. Icarus realized too late the folly of his disobedience. He cried out to his father for help, but it was too late. His wings completely disintegrated, and he plummeted down from the sky into the sea below. Daedalus watched in horror as his son fell to his death. He searched for Icarus but could not find him. Grief-stricken, he flew to the nearest island, which he named Icaria in memory of his son. The story of Icarus and Daedalus is a powerful reminder of the importance of heeding wise counsel, respecting boundaries, and avoiding the pitfalls of hubris. It is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the tragic consequences of ignoring the wisdom of experience. Imagine the feel of the wind beneath the newly crafted wings, the soaring flight over the blue Aegean, the intoxicating allure of the sun, and the final, tragic plunge into the sea. A sorrowful yet thought-provoking lullaby about ambition and its consequences. Daedalus, an Athenian inventor, created wings for himself and his son Icarus to escape Crete. He warned Icarus not to fly too high, but Icarus disobeyed, flying too close to the sun. The wax melted, his wings failed, and he fell to his death. The myth is a cautionary tale about hubris and the importance of heeding wise counsel. Fact 12. The Anunnaki and their depiction in art and iconography. The Anunnaki, as central figures in Mesopotamian mythology, are frequently depicted in art and iconography. These representations offer valuable insights into how ancient Mesopotamians perceived these deities, their roles, and their relationships with humanity. Analyzing the recurring motifs and symbols associated with the Anunnaki reveals the evolving nature of their religious and cultural significance. Early Sumerian depictions of the Anunnaki are often symbolic and abstract. They are represented as divine beings, often distinguished by their headdresses adorned with multiple horns, a symbol of divinity and power. The number of horns typically indicated the deity's rank, with the most powerful gods and goddesses having the most horns. And Anu, the sky god and the chief of the Anunnaki, is often depicted with the highest number of horns. These early representations emphasize the Anunnaki's divine status and their separation from humanity. They are portrayed as majestic and awe-inspiring figures, worthy of reverence and worship. As Mesopotamian art evolved, the depictions of the Anunnaki became more anthropomorphic, with human-like bodies and features. They are also frequently shown holding symbols of authority, such as scepters, rings, and divine emblems. These anthropomorphic representations reflect a growing sense of intimacy between the gods and humans. The Anunnaki are portrayed as more relatable figures, capable of interacting with humans and influencing their lives. They are no longer simply distant and abstract beings, but rather active participants in the world. One of the most common motifs associated with the Anunnaki is the winged disc, a symbol of divine power and protection. The winged disc is often depicted above the figures of the Anunnaki, representing their celestial nature and their ability to oversee and protect humanity. This symbol is also associated with the sun god Shamash, U2, who is seen as a source of justice and righteousness. The winged disc later became a symbol of royal power and was often depicted on royal seals and monuments. The Anunnaki are also frequently depicted in scenes of creation and destruction. They are shown creating humans, building cities, and establishing laws. They are also shown unleashing floods, sending plagues, and destroying their enemies. These depictions reflect the Anunnaki's dual nature as both creators and destroyers, capable of both benevolence and wrath. In Babylonian art, the Anunnaki are often associated with the god Marduk, the patron deity of Babylon. Marduk is depicted as a powerful warrior god who defeated the primordial chaos and established order in the universe. He is often shown holding a spear or a sword, symbolizing his power and his ability to defend Babylon from its enemies. The Anunnaki are often depicted as Marduk's allies, helping him to maintain order and protect the city. In Assyrian art, the Anunnaki are often depicted as winged genies known as Apkallu. The Apkallu were believed to be wise and benevolent spirits who served as advisors to the kings. They are often shown carrying buckets and cones, which were used in rituals to purify and protect the kings and their palaces. The Apkallu are also depicted as guardians of temples and sacred places, protecting them from evil spirits. The depictions of the Anunnaki in art and iconography reflect the evolving nature of Mesopotamian religion and culture. As societies changed and new ideas emerged, the way the Anunnaki were portrayed also changed. These representations provide valuable insights into the beliefs, values, and worldview of the ancient Mesopotamians. They also demonstrate the enduring power of art to shape and reflect religious and cultural identity. The analysis of Anunnaki iconography requires careful consideration of the historical and cultural context in which these images were created. It is important to understand the symbolic meaning of the various motifs and attributes associated with the Anunnaki, and to consider how these representations may have been interpreted by the people who created and viewed them. The study of Anunnaki art and iconography is an ongoing process, and new discoveries and interpretations continue to shed light on the complexities of Mesopotamian mythology and religion. Fact 13. The legend of the Selkies. The Selkies, also known as Silkies or Selchies, are fascinating creatures from Scottish and Irish folklore. They are beings capable of transforming between seals and humans, often depicted as beautiful and alluring, embodying the mystery and enchantment of the sea. Their stories are filled with themes of longing, loss, the allure of the wild, and the challenges of belonging. In their seal form, Selkies are indistinguishable from ordinary seals, sleek and graceful creatures that inhabit the coastal waters of Scotland and Ireland. However, they possess a unique ability. They can shed their seal skin and transform into human beings. When a Selkie sheds its skin, it becomes a man or woman of extraordinary beauty. Selkie men are often described as handsome and captivating, with dark hair and piercing eyes. Selkie women are said to be incredibly beautiful, with long, flowing hair and eyes that reflect the depths of the ocean. The circumstances surrounding a Selkie's transformation are often shrouded in mystery. Some stories say that Selkies can only transform on certain nights, such as during a full moon or on specific tides. Others say that they must hide their seal skin in a safe place, as they cannot. Selkie women are often depicted as marrying human men, drawn to the warmth and stability of life on land. However, the union between a Selkie and a human is often fraught with challenges. Selkies retain a deep connection to the sea, and they often feel a longing for their former life. The call of the ocean is difficult to resist, and they may eventually feel compelled to return to the sea, leaving their human spouses and children behind. One of the most common motifs in Selkie stories is the search for the hidden seal skin. A human who finds a Selkie's skin gains power over the Selkie, forcing them to remain in human form. The Selkie is bound to the human until the skin is returned, at which point they are free to return to the sea. The stories of Selkie wives often depict them as being unhappy in their human lives. They yearn for the freedom and wildness of the sea, and they often feel like they don't truly belong on land. They may exhibit a quiet sadness, a deep longing that their human husbands cannot understand. The children of Selkie human unions are often said to possess unique traits, such as webbed fingers or toes, or an uncanny ability to swim and hold their breath underwater. They may also inherit their Selkie parents' longing for the sea. The discovery of the hidden seal skin is often a pivotal moment in the story. Sometimes, the human husband deliberately hides the skin to keep his Selkie wife from leaving. Other times, the children accidentally find the skin and reveal their mother's true nature. When a Selkie finds its skin, it is faced with a difficult choice: to remain with its human family or to return to the sea. The decision is often heart-wrenching, as the Selkie feels torn between two worlds. In some stories, the Selkie chooses to remain with its human family, suppressing its longing for the sea. In others, the Selkie returns to the ocean, leaving its human family behind. Sometimes, the Selkie will visit its children from the sea, offering them gifts or guidance. The stories of Selkies are a poignant reflection on the nature of identity, belonging, and the enduring power of the wild. They remind us of the allure of the unknown and the challenges of bridging the gap between two different worlds. Imagine the shimmering seal skin hidden away, the yearning gaze towards the ocean horizon, and the final, heartbreaking decision to stay or return to the sea. A wistful and enchanting lullaby of longing and transformation. Selkies are creatures from Scottish and Irish folklore who can transform between seals and humans. They often marry humans, but the call of the sea is strong, and they may return, especially if they find their hidden seal skin. These tales explore themes of longing, identity, and the allure of the wild. Fact 14. The creation myth of the Yoruba people. The Yoruba people of West Africa possess a rich and intricate mythology centered around the supreme deity Olodumare, also known as Olorin. Olodumare is the source of all existence, the unmanifested, the absolute. Before the creation of the world as we know it, there was only a vast, watery expanse and a sky above, with Olodumare residing in the heavens. The story begins with the Orisha, deities or spirits, yearning for a solid ground to inhabit. They were restless and felt confined to the celestial realm. Olodumare, sensing their desire, decided to send one of them to create the earth. Initially, Obatala, the Orisha of purity and wisdom, was chosen for this momentous task. He was given a bag containing loose soil, a 5-fingered hen, a palm nut, and a golden chain. Obatala, filled with anticipation and a sense of profound responsibility, began his descent from the heavens. He held the golden chain, which was to serve as a ladder, connecting the celestial realm with the watery void below. As he climbed down, he felt the immensity of his task and the weight of expectation from the other Orishas. However, seeing that Obatala was incapacitated, Olajumer then entrusted the task to Oduduwa, another powerful Orisha, often associated with kingship and leadership. Oduduwa, with the same items, the bag of soil, the five-fingered hen, the palm nut, and the golden chain, began his descent. Oduduwa, unlike Obatala, was resolute and focused. He carefully climbed down the golden chain, the vast expanse of water stretching endlessly below him. Reaching the end of the chain, he poured the loose soil from the bag into the water. Then he released the five-fingered hen. The hen began to scratch at the soil, scattering it across the watery surface. As the hen tirelessly worked, the soil spread and expanded, gradually forming land. This land became known as Ile-Ife, considered the sacred city and the cradle of Yoruba civilization. Oduduwa then planted the palm nut. From this nut grew a large and fruitful palm tree, providing sustenance and resources for the inhabitants of the newly formed earth. He is considered the first king of Ile-Ife. When Obatala awoke from his drunken slumber, he was ashamed and remorseful for failing in his task. He descended to earth and found that Oduduwa had already completed the creation. Obatala, filled with regret, pleaded with Olajumer for forgiveness. Olajumer, in his wisdom and compassion, forgave Obatala but decreed that Obatala would forever be associated with the creation of human beings, shaping their bodies from clay. Thus, Oduduwa became the creator of the land, while Obatala became the creator of humankind. This division of labor reflects the Yoruba understanding of the interconnectedness of the physical world and the human spirit. The story of the Yoruba creation is not just a narrative of how the world came to be. It is a reflection of their values, beliefs, and social structure. It emphasizes the importance of responsibility, leadership, and the consequences of one's actions. The tale also highlights the power of forgiveness and the potential for redemption. The Orishas are not seen as distant, untouchable deities but as active participants in the world, whose actions directly affect human lives. The Yoruba creation myth provides a framework for understanding the world and one's place within it. It is a story that has been passed down through generations, shaping the cultural identity and spiritual beliefs of the Yoruba people. It's a calming reminder of origins and interconnectedness. The Yoruba creation story centers on Olajumer, who tasked Obatala and then Oduduwa with creating the earth. Oduduwa succeeded, creating Ile-Ife, while Obatala, after a drunken mishap, was assigned